What is up, guys? It's Troy at the Full Setup, back with a follow-up video to my AMD B550 x570 USB motherboard issues that I was having. This was an absolute nightmare for me at the time. Like I said in that original video, I was buying lots of equipment so I could do like multicam videos, so I could show off my desk. Maybe we wanted to add a little bit of gaming footage in there with it as well. Maybe then we're going to do a little tutorial guide, some tips and tricks, all at the same time with making sure I was getting the most out of like OBS and all of the rest of the equipment. I mean, I haven't totaled it up, okay? I haven't totaled up how much I've spent, but it's definitely over $3,000. It's weird how quick and fast this stuff just, you know, mounts up on all of the kit to do this, but it's something that I wanted to do because it can reduce time, and I've wanted to add, you know, things like multicams and stuff for ages. So when I was buying it all, it was almost like Christmas every day. So, you know, I was getting new products in and I was saying, okay, it works like 80-90% of the time. I just need to iron it out and fix that little issue. And then it was like, okay, the camera's not working, the audio's crackling, OBS is giving me loads of crap. You know, there was a lot of issues going on and I didn't know what was going on, and it was really stressing me out because it was a lot of money for me to be spending. It's sort of the money I had saved from being stuck indoors for a whole year with COVID and not really going anywhere, you know, going out on weekends, holidays and things like that. So, you know, it was a lot of money to spend, and it was definitely a lot of stress for me. And then I just got a pop-up on my phone saying, oh, AMD admits there's USB issues. Thank God. Thank God. You know, it's not just me. And when I was reading through all those issues, you know, I'm sort of the worst case scenario because being a content creator, you have so many more things plugged into your computer. So in that video, I did take you through some steps on, even with this fix, things that you should be doing and things that you should know if you're running into issues. So I would definitely recommend watching that video. Also as well, in that video I went into other things like in OBS, like encoder overload. So maybe you push your game too much. As soon as you go over 95% GPU usage, that can cause some issues. You can have some stutters and drop frames because I actually use my RTX 3070 to do all my recording. I use NVENC for recording, so I haven't got the stress of H.264 and drop frames, especially when I'm doing stuff like this. You know, I don't want any drop frames when it's like face cam and things like that. You know, they're things that, you know, you need to get in line. And the other video linked in the description, which I definitely recommend you check out, is my fix for the Elgato Camlink 4K that I'm using to record my Sony a6400 today. It's a device that's sort of chalk and cheese for a lot of people. A lot of people it works flawlessly for, and then there's loads of people that it doesn't work very well for at all. So if you're having lots of disconnects with the Camlink, I definitely recommend you check out that video. So the BIOS update then, how has it been since the BIOS update? Let's have a little look. So the BIOS update actually came out 3 weeks ago, and I know a few people have been contacting me about the BIOS update, you know, and said, how are you getting on? How are your issues? These are some problems I'm still having. And I really wanted to assess it for like 2-3 weeks. So I think now's the time. It came out on the 8th of the 4th. This is the beta BIOS that I'm running from MSI for the B550 Tomahawk. I think before I was actually running this one from the 11th of the 4th. That's the one I found most stable for me, okay? So this is a BIOS I've been running, and, you know, as you can see from everything going on here, it's, you know, it's all running pretty sweet, but I do think it's worth reporting, you know, all of the issues that I was having. So the first one was with the motherboard then. So one thing that you have to do to resolve the issue, if you still haven't had an update or if your BIOS update still isn't fixing it, is jumping from Pcie Gen 4 to Gen 3, which isn't ideal for a lot of people, but I don't actually have any NVMe Gen 4 SSD, so it wasn't really the issue. Obviously the 3070 in the system is a, you know, can run Gen 4, but it's not really any difference running it at Gen 3. It's not that powerful. It's a tasty little graphics card, but, you know, it's not needed. So that wasn't the biggest issue, and that did fix things like my audio crackling. And then obviously the Camlink was a separate fix, even outside of these USB issues. So we'll talk about the capture cards and that in a second. So yeah, that's all fine. I'm able to run Gen 4 now. And also resizable bar, for anyone that was interested, runs fine. Haven't had any problems for it. I decided not to use it when it first came out because you can run it on Gen 3 or Gen 4. It doesn't really matter. But I thought, you know what, there's so many little issues at the moment. Let's not just add something else to the mix for me to, you know, have to troubleshoot. Now, the next thing is going to be all my audio gear. So down here, you can see I've got the PreSonus, probably quite hard to see it, but this is the PreSonus Studio 24C. And then if you look behind me there, I've got all that Behringer stuff that's running sort of into it for all the audio on the SM7B. Now, like I said, the crackling has gone. you know, since the update. We're not having any issues with that. That was a bit of a headache because obviously you've got to check things like sample rates, bit rates, make sure everything's matching up. So that was all fine. Make sure I'm on head cam. So yeah, that's been all right. I haven't really had any disconnects from that. Okay, that's been perfectly fine and ran flawlessly. Now my DAC, I've still had a couple of disconnects since it's been on USB. It's worth mentioning, but I'm going to sort of tell you why I've been having that. So just under all my pop figures here, under the desk, all right, I've got a USB 3.1 or 3.0 hub. So that's about a 1 meter cable that goes up to my computer. And then I've got a 3 meter cable that runs all the way around here in the corner part of my desk. So all the way down over here to my DACs and stuff that are over here, okay? And then there's actually got a little 3-port USB non-powered hub there as well that the DAC plugs into. So that's just me sort of taking the piss with how far you can push USB Gen 3. But literally what I have to do is pull out the little cable under my desk, plug it back in, and it works straight away. So that's been fine. USB DACs and that are all running super sweet. Now over to capture cards and things like that then. So yeah, the capture card's fine. This camera is actually a Sony a5100. I haven't really messed around with the settings too much yet. That actually goes into an AVerMedia capture card, so there's been no issues with that. I actually bought that to, you know, tie me over until this USB issue was fixed, but the Camlink has been absolutely flawless. It all works fine now. You know, I'm super happy, but definitely go and check out that fix for the USB issue. The only time it sort of disconnects and I need to close OBS is if I turn the camera off. I have to close OBS and open it again. Now, a few other things as well with just doing all this sort of stuff. Like I said, you want to be opening OBS in admin mode. That was the thing I said in another video. I feel like I'm covering too much from all the other videos. Open it in admin mode, turn game mode on. That really does sort out a lot of problems as well. But, you know, I'm super happy with all this. I mean, I can just switch all of these things here. I've just got the tiny little Stream Deck. Let's have a little tour on my desk. RTX 3070, Ryzen 5600X. We've got a Deep Cool Matrix 7F fan case. Got my nice KEF speakers, 1440p Nano IPS Lenovo monitor, 4K monitor. Do you know what I mean? All set up standing that way as well. I mean, this thing is balling. It's finally balling. Look at all my camera and stuff up there. Like, I'm super happy with all this, and I'm super happy that AMD managed to fix it. And shout out to whoever the BIOS engineer is at MSI. But I do know since that fix, it hasn't been fixing it for everyone. So I'd be very interested in any of the issues you are having. Definitely go and check out all those videos that I've done below, okay? Because they have really helped people out. Trust me, these are things that you might not be considering. You might be putting it down to BIOS, but it could just be something simple as you've got too many things plugged into one USB. You know, you haven't got certain things set up properly. You're pushing your system too far if you're using OBS. All of those little things. It's been a big learning curve, and I should now hopefully be able to start reviewing all of this gear that I've been purchasing and telling you everything I think about it. And I do think I'm going to do sort of like follow-up videos now. Like, I've been using the Model O wireless for almost 2 months now. So, you know, I think it's better. You know, that's sort of where I want to go now. I think if it's stuff that I buy and that things that I haven't been sent out, I really do think I'm going to use them for a couple of months now and then just give, you know, a really in-depth review on how it's been. Because, you know, when you get sent something, send it out, you want to get the review out quick because you want to beat everyone ahead of the queue. But then if you're only using something for a day and putting out a review, it's not really a review, is it? And I do like this mouse. It's been very interesting going wireless, especially for gaming as well. Anyway, I'm just waffling at the end of the video there, but I know you can see it on me, okay? I'm happy. It all bloody works. We just got to get rid of that horrible wallpaper now, haven't we? That's all we got to do. Get rid of the wallpaper. Everyone's happy. All right. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.